Okay, hi everyone. This is Antoine from Radest Production. Uh, just had a few issues with Messenger, but I think we got Campbell online now. Um, what's gonna happen tonight is we'll have the same type of discussion as we had with Emma last month. And yeah, the reason I'm wearing two headphones is I'm gonna try to monitor the stream with my right ear, and I'm having a conversation with Campbell with my left ear. So let's see if it works. Um, can you hear me, Campbell?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, Campbell. We should be fine. I just hopefully I got sound going to YouTube now. Oh dear. Okay, is anyone can hear me? I'm not even sure. I cannot hear with my headphone the sound. Okay. Uh, Sorry about that, guys. I got sidetracked with the messenger. Check. Okay, it sounds like there's no sound on the stream, Campbell.
Ah,
I can hear you fine now, though. Let's.
okay.
Okay, hang on. Is it my output? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, guys. I'm not sure what's happening. You guys should be able to hear us. Can you hear me, Angie? Let's see. Sometimes it's something as stupid as yes. Okay, we had sound, Campbell, all the time. It's just the volume
Cool.
was off on my YouTube channel. All right, let's start that again, lads and ladette. Welcome, Campbell. How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. I feel a bit better since we got sound.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm gonna do is, okay, guys. We're just gonna go, like I said earlier, you heard me ask you same question I asked Emma. So, what have you been up to this week, Campbell?
Yeah, so this week has been a bit of a tricky week, sorry, with going into stage 4 lockdown here in Victoria. So mostly just been fingerboarding and working out and trying to keep busy at home, really.
Keep busy at home. Okay, so what did you do Monday then?
Monday. Oh, Monday. Honestly, not much. I feel like at this stage, all the days just kind of blur into one. Um, I have been learning French lately, so I've been doing a little bit of that, uh, and playing video games and just just listening to music and listening to podcasts and that sort of thing. So just really trying to keep busy in amongst training, like whenever I can, in whatever ways I can, essentially.
Oh, okay. No, well, I guess it's interesting time for you guys in Victoria right now.
Sorry, you just broke up for me a little bit there.
It's a bit interesting time in Victoria right now.
Yeah, it's really tricky. I don't know if I was expecting the lockdown to progress this far. And it was definitely like confronting being restricted to like a 5 kilometer radius and having a curfew and all these things, and the amount of police and military presence around is quite confronting at times also. Obviously necessary, and it's good to see, action being taken, and hopefully we can get on top of the whole situation. But it certainly can be stressful at times, but like the days go on.
Wow, yeah, I cannot imagine stage 4, honestly. Sunshine Coast, we've been sweet so for so long. Like, I think Gold Coast is a bit more at risk because of the border, obviously, being close. I think we had one guy who flew from Victoria straight to Sunny Coast Airport from Sydney, but nothing happened out of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to. I don't want to talk about this too much, to be honest, but let's roll on something a bit positive. And what kind of podcast you listening? You just mentioned.
Oh, I've been listening to one a little bit. There's this really interesting podcast I've been listening to recently called Radical Empathy, which I've really enjoyed. It's essentially the host takes on some controversial topics from the perspective of like the people in favor. So they did one episode on like flat Earth theory and interviewed a flat earther. They did an episode on conversion therapy and interviewed a gay man who was looking to be converted. And so it's pretty heavy stuff, but it's really, really interesting to explore perspectives in an entirely new way. So I've been really enjoying that recently.
Yeah, keep an open mind and be a bit curious, I guess.
Yeah.
So mentally, you stay active with podcasts. What about physically? I've seen some picture last week on your rooftop or something. What's going on
Yep.
up there?
Yeah. So that was just trying to get out into some fresh air and stretch a little bit. I feel like despite lockdown being the best time to work on my flexibility, I think I might be the least flexible I've been in a long time. So trying to get back into that routine and getting out and just staying active really. Yeah, and then also I've been, most of my training at the moment's consisted with weights in my living room or hopping on the fingerboard. I take my portable hangboard to a tree in a park, like 10-minute walk away, and drag a bunch of weights in a little shopping trolley and do a few sessions out there. So it's not ideal, but it gets the job done, I guess.
Do you got a hangboard at home or something?
Yeah. So I don't have like a stationary one. I just have the portable one. But we're building a hangboard stand so I can hangboard out on the balcony. So that'll be a little bit more comfortable than what I've got going at the moment.
So what do you mean by a portable one? Is it something you made yourself or?
No, so my friend Pat from Concept Climbing put one together for me. It's just a really, really basic board with like a jug on top and then a 20 mil, 15 mil and a 10 mil edge. And yeah, just a cord, and I just sling a rope with two beaners over a tree, clip it together and off I go basically.
So it's basically your crack board you're using at home at the moment.
Essentially a crag board, yeah, that's the bulk of my training right now.
Yeah, I think I've seen those boards around. That's a CNC board in wood, is it?
It's actually this one, yeah, just bolted edges bolted to a flat board. So it's a pretty basic one, but it fits my needs pretty well.
Oh, well, it's interesting. The champ's training with Concept, so people maybe should go have a look at their page. Huh?
Yeah, definitely. He's got some good products on the go at times.
Okay, let's go a bit further down the week then. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Anything specific comes to mind?
No, honestly, yeah. It's just trying to keep busy through the days here in Victoria. We're pretty limited with what we're able to do. I think we made pizzas the other night. That was a highlight. But beyond that, there's really not much to report, unfortunately.
What kind of
Yeah.
pizza?
Oh, okay. Well, we had one. We did like a 4 cheese pizza, and then one that was just like a bunch of veggies and stuff. I think it was like mushrooms, sweet potato, capsicum, spinach. Myself and my partner are both vegetarians, so yeah, no meat on those ones. So
Is your diet change a bit with the restriction and you being able to go get the fresh food you usually eat, I guess?
no, we've got a supermarket. Our supermarket's pretty close to us, so I wouldn't say my diet has changed too much. I guess we have a lot more time to cook, which has been really nice actually. So I've been yeah, like trying out a bunch of new recipes and just trying to like expand my repertoire. So in that regard, my diet has changed, which has been a lot of fun actually.
Yeah, did you try some French Canadian pancake with maple syrup? I recommend this.
We've done like crepes a few times. We've actually got ingredients for crepes coming up soon. Yeah, no, lots of different things. My friends and I, we did like a MasterChef style mystery box challenge over Zoom the other night. So
Okay.
um, on the weekend actually, yeah. So we were given a bunch of ingredients and we had to come up with something. So we made these like tofu burger things, which are really cool. And I made the hamburger buns from scratch, which I'd never done before. So yeah, I guess it's if
Master
anything,
chefing, huh?
yeah, trying. It's a good opportunity to try new things. So I've been trying to take it in that, with that approach.
All right. Well, when's the last time you went to climb at the gym? Let's say the week talk is probably over at this point. Did you went to the
Sorry.
gym? You guys were not in ISO, so the gym reopened for a moment in Melbourne.
Yeah, we had the gyms open for about 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
And
Maybe about
how much session you squeezed in?
oh, as many as I could. I think I was training twice a day, like most days. It was the gym shutting down again came at a really time. I was just,
Did you heard the? Okay, sorry, my wife just asked you a question.
oh yeah, oh, I've got my jacket.
Oh yeah, she want to see your forearm. Can you pull your sleeve, please?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
a good flex. Yeah,
got a
that's
bit of,
pretty good light. That's nice. Good
bit of
definition
math.
there. Ooh. Yep. Nice one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yep. Solid effort there.
Oh,
All right, the girls are happy now. Um, cool. Well, I guess you focus on bouldering. What did you squeeze in? Focus on power, since you didn't thought it would close again, obviously. You know?
yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. At the moment, I mean, obviously, predominantly, I am more of a lead climber, but yeah, trying to focus on maintaining and keeping that bouldering power at the moment. So usually like while I was in the gym, I'd break my days up into like morning hangboarding into conditioning sessions, and then in the evenings and afternoons, more climbing focused. Not a lot of like slab and movement stuff so much just yet, but a lot of board climbing, trying to get on spray walls and just as many different like moves as
A
possible.
bit of 159 or
No, no, I haven't been doing much campus boarding actually. I was doing a lot of campus boarding before the first lockdown, but I never got to 159, unfortunately.
oh yeah, well,
But
I
one
think
day.
1.5 is maybe possible, but five
Yeah,
nine
the
is
one
insane.
five eight and a half for
That's it.
sure.
That's it.
But
That's the
I've never made the nine,
eight and
not
a
yet.
half. Yeah, you got the respect. That's solid. Okay, well, Jesus. Yeah, go ahead, Angie. Angie's got another question. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'll just repeat the question for the people. Is she asked you, where do you think you're gonna be? Which direction you're going in your climbing journey? Okay, what's your ultimate goal? Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so I've definitely always followed climbing with a competitive focus. So I think the competitions, namely the World Cups, were my main focus. I think the Olympics came along as a bit of a surprise and has kind of hijacked the attention now. And so obviously the focus is being on ready for continental championships if that's able to happen. Yeah, otherwise, though, I think I've really got my sights set on next year's World Cup season and having a
Okay.
few good. And I'd like to get outside a little bit more as well when we're able to. So I'm really keen to get on Type N, and I've got a few boulders I'd like to try in the Grampians.
That was another question I had from Dan Fisher. Actually, he was asking if you were gonna go outdoors
Yeah,
soon.
I haven't traditionally or typically focused much on rock climbing before, but with the comp goals being so up in the air, I've had the opportunity to kind of like, yeah, I guess center in on them a little bit more. And there's a few things I'd like to explore.
So are you going for the on-site of Serpentine?
Yeah, that's definitely something I'd be keen for.
That's the dream line.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Yeah, just like have a play on Taipan. I haven't actually climbed on it yet. I've climbed on Spurt a bit and around and about, but yeah, no Taipan.
Man.
Really keen.
Like national champion. You live in Victoria. You never climb in the Grampian.
Yeah.
On Taipan, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit embarrassing.
It is your journey, but yeah.
Yeah, one day. I think the approach I've always kind of taken to it is that I've got, well, I mean, access given. I've got unlimited time potentially to climb on rock, but as of the last few years, my focus has really been on the competitions, and that's what gets me excited. So I've just had my sights set on those, and you know, COVID has changed that a little bit, and so it's given me some room to hopefully focus on some new things soon.
Talking about new things, or not new, you know, every time I went to the Grampians, I brought the rope, but it pretty much stayed in the van every day. What about bouldering in the Grampian? Is that something who's on the menu?
Yeah, I'm really keen to try out Amagama actually. And then Sultans of Swing V13 just past Amagama. So there's a couple of things I'm keen to try. Again, like haven't spent a bit of a hike. Yeah, haven't spent too much time out there in recent years. So yeah, I've just got to spend some time on rock and get a feel for it, and then head.
Did you had a few burn on Amagama already?
I think I tried it like years ago, maybe.
Yep.
Long before I was capable of climbing that sort of boulder.
You still could claim the Alzheimer on site then.
Yeah, in theory.
Okay, that's cool sidetrack from NG. Oh, thanks for the question. I got a few other questions, and that's when the tricky part's happening. Just to explain to the viewer, the project I got is I'm trying to interview Campbell with a second guest, a surprise guest. Campbell's not aware of that. So I got a guest who's going to ask him question. But for Campbell to be able to listen to those questions, you need to wait 25 seconds, the lag of the internet, so you can listen to that, to the live stream itself. So it's going to be a bit stop and go, and it's a bit of a test since it's a few live stream, but if I can make it work, I think it'll be pretty cool. So I'm going to start the video, Campbell. You won't see it just yet, and Campbell looks ready. He put his headphone. I briefed him already. So I'm going to start the video. People will see it. We can keep talking till you see it. Listen to the question. And then I'll come back to the vision with you, the same vision we got now. And hopefully you can answer. So I think that person had some pretty cool question there. Someone I respect a lot. I won't say more. Hopefully that works. Okay, so the video just started. I'll keep the surprise. I won't say much right now, but
so what would you say is sort of your ideal boulder in a competition?
It's not live yet.
No worries. So over the last couple of years, you've been making your way out into the International Open circuit, representing Australia in the IFSC Boulder World Cups. So if you could tell us a little bit about your experiences in the Boulder World Cups and what you've learned and how you're implementing that into further competitions.
Okay. Did you hear the question?
Yeah, I heard the question. I think the second question is just playing now. Do you want me to hear that one or answer the first one?
Answer the first one.
Okay.
So what's your answer there?
So my ideal competition boulder would be something powerful, something pinchy, and something with not a lot of tricks, I'd say. I'm probably not like the most coordinated climber, but I think I can squeeze fairly hard, and so yeah, like generally pretty basic. A lot of heel hooks, that sort of thing. I'm usually pretty psyched on. But yeah, I really love pinches in a comp. So yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'll roll the second question. This is going to be the same lag, but seems like it's working.
So progressing into the future, do you
obviously you're
see
familiar
yourself
with the
focusing
interview.
more,
That's Ballarat
on the
2015.
national level
I
competitions,
used that
or
same video
really
with
honing
Emma
in on
without
that
too much
international
success.
style, so
Sound,
you
that's
can
an
do
issue.
your best at the IFSC
But yeah,
level
this
events?
time I just did it differently. So yeah, the question's not there yet for you. Yep, there you go.
Cool. Yeah, so that question was whether I'll be focusing on national level or international competitions over the next years. And I think at this point, I'd love to. I haven't been able to compete at elite nationals for a little while now. So I am really psyched on national level competitions. That won't really extend to the state titles, I don't think, but definitely hitting up nationals again and trying to take that title back. But the main focus is definitely going to be on the World Cup for sure. Oh, we're getting a
Okay.
bit of feedback.
Thank you, Campbell. Let's roll with the next one.
Focus
Okay, so
your training differently
lag again.
for the IFSC
Maybe I'll come
competitions
up
than
with
you
a better
do
solution,
for
but
the Australian
I'll
competitions,
just-
or is it, despite the different styles, are they the same general training
Great
principles
interview,
that
by
you
the
like
way.
to apply?
I love Emma's answers to it. All right, so now it's back to you on the feed. Now we see both of us, Campbell.
Oh, sorry. Could you play that one again? Sorry, I was just having problems with the feed on my end.
Jesus. No, I can't.
Sorry.
No, it's too complicated. Okay, well, that's okay. You didn't hear it. I'll listen to the question to myself next time so I can tell you. So let's go with the next question.
Or achievements on plastic and in the competitions, do you get out on rock much? Do you have anything really notable that you're quite proud of?
Okay, so it's back to us on the stream now.
Yep. Yeah, so that question was, yeah, about whether I'll be focusing on rock, which I think I answered before. Obviously, my main focus is always going to be being ready for competitions, but with COVID, I'm not sure if those competitions are going to be happening. So in the meantime, I'm making sure I can focus on rock as much as possible.
So obviously trying to have fun first to keep your psych up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's hard to use the competitions as a focus because every day it seems more and more uncertain as to whether or not they'll happen, whereas the rock will be there when restrictions allow. So it's a good thing to stay focused on in the meantime.
Did you think about finding a job in the Grampians or something?
Probably not. I'm pretty happy with my life here in the city. I do like having access to the gyms and the Melbourne culture as well, at being right on my doorstep. So yeah, not looking at moving to the Grampians anytime soon.
Yeah, well, the only top competitor I see who lives at the Crag would be Tom O'Laren. I'm not sure where Tom Farwell live, but yeah, I think you need to live close to a
think
gym if you're gonna be competing at that level.
Yeah, I think Tom has some pretty like a pretty good gym as well in the Blue Mountains itself. But I know speaking to him, like it is quite time consuming traveling out to Sydney to get that comp boulder experience and to train on indoor lead routes and that sort of thing. But also just like my general preference for how I like to live. I really am a bit of a city boy. So it works well for me to live close to the CBD.
Yeah, well, there's always a good coffee at the corner. I like that.
Absolutely.
What kind of coffee you drink? Let's go with that.
I am very impartial to a soy latte.
So latte, extra shot.
Yeah, I do like the taste of the extra shot. I I find I get very easily hooked on coffee, so I have to be careful not to like drink too many too strong. But
Oh.
yeah, I do like myself a nice strong latte.
What about the sweetener in your coffee?
No, I'm not really a fan of sweet coffee, to be honest.
Honey,
Yeah,
a bit of honey, raw sugar, just so
no, no,
latte.
no. Yeah, yeah, just coffee and steamed milk. Yeah, that's the way I like it.
So you said you're vegetarian or vegan?
Vegetarian.
So
Yeah,
is
so I still
vegetarian drink milk or is just a choice you like the soy?
it's really just a preference. I think I have been like somewhat transitioning closer towards veganism, and it felt like a very easy switch. And then once I got into it, I really got a taste for it, and I don't really like the taste of cow's milk that much. Yeah, so my preference is for soy.
All right. We can keep talking. I'll just roll the next question. You see, but
The 2020 Olympics,
Yeah.
are they appealing
never
to you
tried
as far as your
soy latte,
competition
honestly.
goals,
So,
or
I'll
is
give it a
it
go next time.
more? Are you more focused
Yeah.
on the
yeah,
IFSC
for you,
competition?
but you gotta try the double shot
5 years time.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, that's it. So the question's been rolled. You should hear them soon. Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear that one. Yeah, there was a little bit over the top, but that's okay. Yeah, so the question was whether or not I'll be focusing on IFSC competitions for the Olympics. And for me, I'd say my heart definitely lies on the IFSC circuit. I think obviously the Olympics is a goal of mine, and I'm working really hard to try and achieve it. But then once the Olympics is over, life will go on and the World Cups will continue. And so I've really got my sights set like that little bit further in the future. And I think I've wanted to be successful at a World Cup level since I was a kid,
Yeah.
basically. And that doesn't necessarily change because of the opportunity of the Olympics, but I do think they go hand in hand. I think it'll just be a matter of specializing a little bit more into lead again once the combined format is kind of out of the forefront.
And speed. Yeah, I know you're not a strong fan of the speed, but I've seen you on the speed run a bit lately because you have to, or because you start enjoying it more. That's a journey in itself, I guess. Lots of competitor had a bit of a bug with that one.
Yeah, it's I really enjoy competing in speed, but training it can get a little dull sometimes. But it is what it is, and it's a small price to pay for the opportunity to compete at the Olympic Games. So it's not too difficult to implement that into my week.
All right. I asked the same question to Emma talking about the Olympic. Who's going to qualify, male and female, at the next Oceania camp? There's one
Who do I?
Yeah, who's your top bet? Your top
Well,
bet?
I
It could be
mean,
yourself.
I think, yeah, well, for the women, I think it's going to be I would imagine Oceana McKenzie. Obviously, I can't see into the future, but I think Angie Scarf-Johnson has got a really red-hot go as well. Whether or not she'll be able to make it back from Innsbruck, where I think she's living now
Okay.
for the Continental Championship.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I think she's living in Europe now. But yeah, and then there are some other women as well who could put in a strong showing and take the spot. Lucy Sterling, Tiffany Milius.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep, some strong showers as well. So I guess we'll see there.
So your money's on Oceania, basically. I like that.
I think Oceana's got a lot of competition experience behind her, even as one of the younger athletes in the field.
She's just so powerful. It's just a bit.
And I know how hard she works as well. Like she's
okay.
not.
You got a bit of an
giving
inside there.
Yeah,
Are you
she's
guys training together? You say? Is she in Melbourne?
Yeah. So when we can, of course, we do train together quite a bit. But she's just so yeah, she's so focused on her routine and her recovery, and her life just revolves around her training. She lives and breathes training, and she loves climbing. So, which I think is something that's definitely true about a lot of the women as well. But I really see her putting in the time and the dedication.
Yeah.
With the men, it's really really tricky because obviously I like my chances to qualify. That's why I'm putting so much work into the event.
Yeah.
And I definitely see myself as one of the climbers who can win that competition for sure. But at the same time, I have really stiff competition who might bar me from that. Tom Halloran, of course, and Tom Farrell was looking really, really good before Continental Championships.
He was, yeah.
March.
Really impressed me.
So on his day, he's going to be really, really hard to beat. James Cassay, of course, always climbs well. So
He wasn't there at last camp though.
he was at
For some reason.
National.
Was he? Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he was
came,
there.
Yeah, he came third. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Yeah. So he is obviously a strong contender. And then Sam Bowman as well, who we haven't really heard much from for a little while. But
Yeah, he's
I
right
think,
into his roots, I think, but he definitely
Yeah.
could
but
represent.
he's another climber who's just good at what he does, and has always been good at competitions, and strong in lead and bouldering. I'm not sure about speed, but I think it'd be something that if he wanted to be good at, he would. So yeah, I think
He's
there's
all right at speed. I compete against him on speed, and yeah, he ended up with
Yeah.
He beat me.
Yeah,
I was much younger.
it's a tight run, I think, with the men. There's a few of us who could take the spot, and I think it's just gonna, if the event goes ahead.
You know what's the best time in male Australian for the speed run?
Oh, it's definitely Tom Farrell. It's somewhere in I couldn't tell you what he's run. I think he's run under 8 though.
You sure he beat the record? Because Jared was really fast a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, Jared's record's definitely well and truly been destroyed. I think his record.
Okay.
I think his record was like 9.96 maybe,
He
or
broke the
9.8
thing,
or something. And I think Tom's run under 8 now. So
And the world
yeah.
record's at 6 something or 5.
5.4 I think now.
Yeah, right.
Roundabout.
Yeah, I'm not sure that guy boulder veto thing though.
Mm.
He's got the legs.
Yeah, he's a good at speed.
Cool. Yeah, we got sidetracked a bit, but I think it's kind of the subject I want to talk about. You know, the Olympic is all okay. The Olympic was last month, technically.
Yep.
You know, so we got another 12 month or 16 month of our sleeve, more than you thought for training, and obviously you got the funny restriction, but you still got that time. You know, you can do the most out of it. So I think there could be a, turnaround there where, whoa, that guy's been training hard, secret training kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, I think the biggest factor for us really is the fact that we haven't had our final selection event yet. So we've had, obviously, the preliminary selections through the World Cup season and through World Championships in Hachioji, and then now we have our Continental Championship. And if that goes ahead, that will be the decider as to who gets to go to the Olympics, of course. And I think so that's supposed to be on December 19th now, and so it's all just focused towards that, trying not to think too far ahead to the Olympics. If the Continentals doesn't happen, then
The Olympics are, what's the new date again?
the Olympics are going to be August next year.
Yes, you're still going to have 6 months between your qual and your Olympic itself for that person to qualify. And I guess everyone else who's not going to qualify is going to probably focus on the World Cup.
Yeah, I think so.
So just to close that male bet, if you had $100 to put in, you cannot bet on yourself, obviously. Where do you put it? Do you split your money or all in on one guy?
No, I think my money is split, honestly.
Your money is split? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
I don't think I could pick who's going to win it on the day. I really think it's going to come down to like exactly what is set, who has access to training.
Well, there's
Well,
you are in Victoria and James too. You're the guys with the most restriction to train at the moment.
yeah.
Doesn't mean anything. But
Look, I mean, but we've got the harshest restrictions at the moment, but in a couple of months' time, it could be completely different.
yes, it
We
could
really
be.
have no idea. So
It could be me,
yeah.
and you're fine and free roaming. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's roll. I think there's one or two more questions with the interview.
Fly or to breathe underwater, which would you choose? I think that's fair enough. Well, yes.
Okay, that was the end. You were getting on to that.
Okay, so I think the question was if I could fly or breathe underwater, which
Yeah.
would I choose?
Yeah, that was your funny question.
Yeah, I think fly. Yeah, that breathing. Oh, although breathing underwater would be. That's really tough. That's a really tough
Well,
question.
you made the question, bro.
I love the deep sea.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I am also. I think flying is more practical. I think I get more out of that than breathing underwater. So I'm gonna pick flying.
Yeah, I think I'll be a flying fish, to be honest. So have a bit of both. Cool. So that's it for this thing. Now, okay, Ryan, audio is fine as viewer. I'm just reading. Okay, everyone tell me the audio is great, so that's a comfort. Angie had one last question. I think you want to come in. I'll just change camera, Angie, so we can see you. Yeah. Yep.
So I have two questions.
Just talk to you.
I have two questions, and one was that you mentioned learning French earlier.
Yeah.
And I was wondering what inspired you to learn French. Are you thinking of travelling, or was it just something you wanted to do?
Yeah. So my partner is French. So it worked out perfectly to keep busy during isolation, but then also to be able to communicate better with him and his family. So yeah, that works for me.
Cool.
The wrong headphones. I need those ones.
No.
There's a delay.
Yeah. Thanks, Angie, for the
And
question.
I have another question.
Okay.
Like we were kind of talking about the strength of climbing and training and building your muscles and stuff. What aspect does the mental side of climbing play like in your life? Is there a transition between your everyday life and the mental kind of training that you get from climbing? Do you find like, is it not just about the climbing, it's about your life as a whole?
Yeah,
Oh,
so it comes
yeah,
back
for
a
sure.
bit, to the mental aspect we wanted to discuss.
Yeah. Well, I think having a good, strong head is a super important aspect of climbing, and is definitely probably an aspect of my climbing that's been lacking in the past. Being able to perform when you need to is super important in competition, and I think having good mental health is critical to that as well. So and I think there's a lot of crossover as well in the skills that you gain from competing and climbing, that you get there's a good crossover into everyday life as well.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think Angie hit the transition smoothly. One of the things we discussed earlier was maybe to talk about mental health a bit.
Sorry, I'll just stop you there. There's a bit of feedback from the live stream being played, I think, on Angie's phone. So I'm hearing myself.
You gotta go outside. You're feeding back. Okay, thanks for that, Campbell.
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, just mental health in general, like, is that something you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about mental health. I think it's a super important topic, especially in climbing. I think with regard to eating habits and just general emotional well-being, I think in professional sport that's always something that's on the line. So as an athlete, it's something that I'm learning to take really seriously and focus on as much as possible, and really dedicate time and energy to maintaining my mental health, and yeah, the flow and effects into my training will, ultimately be what helps me succeed at an international level.
Is that really the goal of mental health, or it's just being happy?
Oh, yeah, no, that's a really good point. No, the goal of mental health, I don't think can be. I don't think I don't think good mental health is necessarily tied to one's athletic performance. I think, yeah, good mental health is a holistic approach that encompasses uh, work life, social life, relationships, family life. And so I think you can't maintain good mental health without dedicating, the appropriate time and energy to each of those factors.
Um, okay. Uh, let's just keep going a bit longer with this. You had setback, you had injuries, or you had expectation were not reached. It's a pretty hard work competing, putting yourself out there on your comfort zone, above, out of your league, whatever you felt like in your head. So what's one of the hardest paths you'd say you had to manage in your journey? And at first it was the end of the world, and then you just kind of, I don't know, what is there a
Mm.
moment in during your journey that you were like, Jesus, that's not easy right now?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I have been somewhat unlucky with a string of injuries over the last few years. I think last year I had a really, really good year actually, up until right at the end where I broke my ankle, and that was really hard. Being just like the practical aspect of navigating Tokyo with a broken ankle was really, really tough.
Yeah.
Um, I think if I had to pinpoint like one experience that was really challenging and really formative for me, was probably in 2015, after winning my first national title in the seniors. Actually, I went over for my first World Cup and ruptured a pulley, and so that meant that it was the first World Cup of three competitions I was going to be competing in. So as a young person, it was super devastating for me, and um,
Mm.
I
Yeah, pretty
it,
hard early in your journey. That's a tough one.
yeah, it was hard because a lot of people, the examples that they would use to encourage me to like keep focused on my goals were climbers who'd achieved so much in their time. Like Jakob Schubert attained a finger injury around a similar time, and people would use him as an example. And it was really, really hard for me because I still felt like I hadn't had that opportunity to shine yet. So I was like waiting for my breakthrough.
Yeah.
And but look, what I don't know if I'm better off for it, but it definitely taught me a lot of skills and allowed me to take a step back, which I think was a valuable thing at the time. So there's always positives to every negative experience.
I guess you got at least at home a great moral support from your crew. Your family is really active in the community. Uh, I think they must have followed you at a point on the World Cup. I'm pretty sure I saw lots of pictures of your mom out there.
Mhm.
You think that's something essential for you, or you could just go on your own and find your
No,
friends?
the people in my life are definitely the first and foremost, the most important thing. And I'm super grateful to have family, friends, and a partner who support me in what I do, and in all the decisions that I make. And I think that's been really, really crucial to being able to live the life that I lead.
Yeah, I like that. That's so important in life. No, thanks for talking about that. I think it's something I'll try to bring back once in a while, every month, because it's definitely the intangible aspect. Training, we know 159, or it's a technicality, but it's all blurry when it goes to mental. And I think lots of Australian climber are strong mentally, but at the same time, everyone can benefit, I think, a lot from this. If you think
I think
about, the top guys, they're strong mentally.
yeah, and I think something that I've been learning lately is that it's like your mental health and your mental approach is never something that will improve or never something that you'll understand until you really give it the time that it deserves. And I think it's all well and good to like have the intention to focus on your mental strength and your resilience, but it's something that you really have to take the time to explore, and it might take a team to help you get there, and it's worth putting those resources into improving it, I think.
Thanks, Campbell. Are you fully recovered from last year injuries? You were obviously not there at the last national.
So like I said, I broke my ankle in Japan. I didn't know it was broken initially, so that was tricky. I'd say like functionally fully recovered. I still get a tweak here and there. There's still some ongoing rehab that has to be done. But I can still train at full capacity. My ankle doesn't hold me back. So it's sometimes when I'm speed climbing, it can get a little bit sore, but it's nothing that really stops me from putting in 100%.
So let's lead into what does hold you back. What's your limiting factor? You think what's your weakness or something you could benefit a lot with less effort,
No, that sounds like a job question.
Well, let's just say it like that.
Well, I mean, I think the elephant in the room, COVID restrictions, is first and foremost the biggest barrier I have right now in my training. But outside of that, I think that's a really, really
Like something you
good.
can change, something's closer to you.
Yeah, something I can change. Well, I think just generally my mental approach, and that's something that I'm really taking the time throughout this lockdown to focus on. And I think just having a really stable, steady head would be really, really beneficial for me throughout long seasons of World Cups and international competitions, and being able to like stay focused on the whole picture and put in 100%. I think that a lot of that is really mental, and so just like that, just that emotional endurance, I guess, to stay focused throughout the whole season.
Thanks, Campbell. Okay, I got one last subject before I go to the next segment. Just me pull my... Hang on.
So, my questions are a bit left of field, but I was wondering if you have any other creative outlet, like you were talking about cooking before, and that seemed a big part of who you are. Is there anything else that you do? Like, are you a really good dancer or drawing or any other kind of creative realm?
Like I said, I guess I like to cook. I really like route setting, so I've dabbled in that in the past, and that was a really nice creative outlet. I think music is probably a big part of my life. I like to listen to music and create music when I can. So, a couple little creative outlets here and there that keep me busy in my off time. Sorry, I just have to turn my laptop charger on. 1 second.
Okay, run it.
There we go.
Okay, and do you want to listen to our answer? Cool, Campbell. What we're gonna do is...
So I missed what instrument you play.
I sing a bit. Like I did a lot in high school, and So like a little bit of that here and there, but
Okay, so we'll just thanks Angie for the question. We'll move forward to other things. I got one little controversial segment here. I'll show you something, and I'm pretty happy where the story led. But basically, there was a bit of story on the news about this recently. So yeah, so I know Campbell had a post on social media about it. So do you see, that's the Norway guidebook I just showed Campbell. So there was I usually have a segment about access. So as for the access, Norway, there's been a bit of a resolution with the CRAG adopting a new refresh name, let's say. Can you hear me, Campbell?
yeah, sorry, yeah.
Okay.
What was the question? Sorry.
So well, I just saw on social media that you had posted about, there was something a bit about, those routes are a bit old and those original names
Yeah, so
maybe not so appropriate these
yeah,
days.
renaming of problematic.
So
Yeah.
do you happy with the
Yeah, no, I
resolution
thought
that
that
the
was
CRAG went
a
ahead?
like. Yeah, I'm quite happy to see that a lot of the names have been changed. I don't know if all of the names are necessarily in the right vein, but I think change is in the right direction. I think it was like a really important issue to speak out on, just because with all these access issues we have at the moment, I think climbers need to be thinking of not only the image that we're portraying within our own community, but the image we're portraying beyond ourselves as well. And the climbing community is growing so far beyond what any single person can know or understand, and so we need to be really aware of how we're presenting to the public, and in order to positively affect access issues and the opportunities that athletes like myself are able to attain. So yeah, I think ensuring that our sport is an inclusive place and that we have a good set of moral values behind us is really important. And I think changing those names is a really important step in that process.
Yeah, Emma was quite vocal about it. I had an interesting discussion with her last month. And even before that, Nathan Owett, if you remember, still crushing around in Europe. But I had a bit of a messenger chat with him about it because I think one of those few lines were first sent by him.
Yeah.
And honestly, yeah, he was all for it. It's like, yeah, let's move forward.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think anyone holds any ill will to the people who initially came up with those names. Perhaps there was a lack of understanding in their implications, but no, I think it's a really great opportunity for everybody to learn and better ourselves and better the sport that we put out to the public, and the image of the sport, that we put out to the public.
All right. Well, I know access in the Grampians is still not fantastic also, which is probably closer to home, but you still can climb at least. Do you want us to say anything about the Gramps, or since you're from Victoria?
Yeah, no, the Grampians is another really, really tricky issue. And I think as much as I love having the privilege to climb on Australian rock, I want to know that I'm doing that with the best interests of the traditional owners in mind. We didn't just come upon this land; it was stolen. I think that's really important to remember, and so we need to be taking that into consideration with access and being respectful. And that might mean no longer having access to certain areas, but ultimately, I think that's just going to be part of reparations between us and the traditional owners. And I think it's really, really important to be respectful as a community and as
in the discussion. I think is probably essential, and put face to those, you know, we always say traditional owner, but who is it, you know, like, let's go have a chat with
Mm.
them.
Yeah, yeah, I think a dialogue is really, really important, and yeah, it's gonna be a long process, but as much energy as we can dedicate to it.
All right, thanks, Campbell. That's it for the access segment. Now I got a a little pre-recorded video I prepared earlier. Actually, I went to Urban Climb Milton Wednesday night to film Nate Foster, and he's got some new shoes, La Sportiva, obviously, which is close to art for you. So
Yeah.
we'll have a chat after the thing. I'll just let it roll. You still can talk on top of the video, by the way, but I'll probably kill my mic so there's better sound.
Okay, yeah, I'll just, yeah, no worries.
So let's fingers crossed it's working.
Oh, g'day there. It's Nate Foster here. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. Doesn't really matter. Anton's caught up with me this evening here at Urban Climb Milton, and he's asked me a few questions about the La Sportiva theories, and I picked these up from K2 Base Camp 2 weeks ago. Since then I've had a few decent bouldering sessions in them, and we're going to go for another decent boulder in them now. So let's go check it out. This, and then well, wouldn't be wearing them if I was a rower. I'm a bike rider. Nah, let's get some campers action in. Some hangboarding. So I really like the rubber that comes across the toe. I like to climb with my toes a lot and my heels, and I found both of them to seem to be lasting and holding up. The toe doesn't seem to slip off when I'm really toe hooking or bicycling. Sucks to my heel really well, just sucks right onto the heel. You can really yard on that heel hook, super solid. Really nice, that rubber over the front of the toe, over the toe box, really hooks in there. You can do heaps of solid toe hooks, and it stays on, never has a problem sliding off. Okay, so we've just had a session in the theories. Like I said before, I've been climbing these for a couple of weeks now. A few pros and cons. Definitely fit my foot amazing. Super comfortable. They're nice and soft, flexible, really great for the gym. For me, you can walk around from problem to problem. I'm not sure the longevity or how the rubber's going to last. It's nice and soft. Where this elastic comes down here and you've got this rubber outer, feels really uncomfortable a lot of the time, and it keeps feeling like this is folded in, so I have to keep pulling that out. So they probably could have brought that around a bit more. But other than that, it's really nice. I like the single Velcro for the gym. Don't have to lace it up. Super solid. The colour I like. It's very simple, very basic. All around, I think it's a really great shoe for the gym. I've never worn them outdoors yet. I got told mainly purely a gym shoe, so I've just been wearing them as a training shoe. Would I buy another pair? Would I rate them? Yeah, definitely. If you want a nice, easy gym shoe to wear, super comfortable, Velcro, highly recommend buying a pair. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked that review. Just a simple review by a simple guy. And now let's get out to the crag.
All right, Campbell, it's back to us on the live stream. You like what you saw?
Yeah, for sure. I just recently was sent my pair of theories from La Sportiva, so once I can get back into the gym, I'm super excited to try out a pair as well. So it was cool to get a little sneak peek into what that might be like. But yeah, I really like the last few models posted from Sportiva. I was a really big fan of the Squama. So
Squama,
yeah,
oh, yeah.
really keen.
I thought you were running the Venom or something
I'm
else earlier.
I,
The orange one
I
with the
used to
Velcro.
Yeah, I used to climb in the Pythons a lot,
Python,
and
yeah.
I've recently transitioned more to the Solution. And yeah, the Squama as well. When I have a pair on hand, I'm really psyched on. I think it's got like one of the best toe hooks I've ever climbed in. Maybe not, maybe the best toe hook I've ever climbed with.
Well, you haven't tried the
And
Thierry yet.
so keen to try the competition Solution, and the Theory as well once we're back in the gym.
Yeah, interesting. Well, give us some feedback on your test run on the TRE, even a picture or two, and we'll talk about it next month. See if Nate was right, because the champ can test them now.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'll definitely keep people posted on my experience with those.
All right, Campbell, we've been going for an hour flat now. I kind of cover what I intended to cover. Obviously forgot full of stuff, but I think it went pretty smoothly tonight. How do you feel about being on the other side of the live stream? Like not climbing. Usually you're on a wall. If you're on a live stream, you're not talking. You're on the other.
Yeah, no, I'm always keen to have a chat. Yeah, it's really good to like chat through these topics and look back at some old footage of me doing some interviewing back in 2015 at the Bouldering Nationals that year. So yeah, thanks for having me. I've had a really good time.
I'm glad we had you. Just maybe to close and get out of climbing again. What's the plan for next weekend? Well, tomorrow.
Plan for tomorrow, probably do some hangboarding, play some video games. Yeah, nothing. Maybe Skype some friends. We'll see how we go. Yeah, and just take it easy and live the lockdown life one day at a time.
Well, keep the faith. I won't say anything. I'm a biologist, by the way, and it could go either way. I'm not gonna speculate where this story is gonna go. But yeah, let's touch wood, and even better, let's touch rock soon.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, thanks, Campbell. See you. This is Angela and Antoine from Radest Production. We had the pleasure to have Campbell tonight, and have a good one. All right, Campbell. See you. I'm gonna close the stream now.
No worries.
Okay.